Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's ClaritySoft training webinar. Today is Tuesday, May 25th, 2021, and I am Susan Arnold, Implementation Specialist here at ClaritySoft. Our topic today is an introduction to the Enhanced Activities module. This is a new module that anyone who's currently using ClaritySoft may switch to. So our goal today is to introduce you to the module and what the new functionality and features are. And then maybe you might want to go back and talk with your team and decide to switch your database to it. The Enhanced Activities has been around for probably a little over a year, but we have not released it in general to everyone, because there are some changes that would occur. The first change that would occur would be that you would lose access to the offline version of ClaritySoft, okay? If you're not using the offline version and don't ever plan to, then this would not be an issue for you. The second reason we haven't switched to it overall is that our importer currently will not import into the Enhanced Activities module. So especially for new customers coming on board that are bringing data from other CRMs or other sources, they need to be able to import activities many times. So if you are past that stage and do not require that, then you can consider switching to the Enhanced Activities. One of the main features that a lot of people had asked for a very long time is the ability to add custom fields into your activity records. Currently, you cannot do that. The only customization you can do are to add a couple of category types in the activity record. And of course, all your different activity types. That's really the only customization you can do. The second thing that makes the Enhanced Activities very useful, especially when it comes to filtering and reporting, is you can link an activity to multiple modules. So you might create an activity in the contact record, but you can also link it to other records, or you may create it in opportunities and it's linked to the opportunity, but you can also then link it to the contact and the account so that it is then searchable on for all of those modules. Right now, you can create activities in your opportunity module, and they are visible in the opportunity module. They are also visible in the account and contact modules. But if you were to go to the list of activities in the activities module, you currently don't have a way to filter out those ones that are connected with a specific opportunity. So the new Enhanced Activities would allow you to do that, where you can go to the activities module and you can then search for all of the activities that are connected to, first of all, an opportunity, second of all, to specific opportunities. So that's a big plus. The third thing is you are able to add multiple participants in an activity. For example, if you are scheduling a meeting, you can, right now, you can only connect an opportunity or an activity to one contact person. There's no way to connect it to multiple contact people. Now you are able to do that, where you can select other contacts that are in the database and connect them to the activity. You are also able to email them from the activity to send them a notification about this activity. Now, I know somebody's sitting there thinking, oh, whoa, now I can send out meeting invitations through ClaritySoft. Nope, not quite yet. That's still coming. But you can at least notify people of an activity that they might be participating in or you want them to know about. The putting in calendar notification in someone's calendar is not quite there yet. So we're still working on that. And then the last thing that it has is an activity ranking, where you're able to see, how many activities have you completed this week? How many have you completed? Where are you? And so that's an option that you can have turned on at the top of the screen to see how you're doing on your activities. Okay, so those are the new features and functionality. Then what we're going to learn how to do is how to customize the module. Adding custom fields, also your activity types that we have now, like call and meeting and site visit or whatever custom activity types that you put in there, you actually can put into a category now, a category of a call, an event, or a task. So that's, we'll walk through all those steps so you know what you can do, how you can do it. And again, your goal, I think today, is just to look at this and see, does it make sense for our team to switch to this? If you decide to make the switch, then all you need to do is contact the tech support team, tell them that you want to make the switch. They will create a support ticket, and usually the switch is made overnight. Okay, the development team will do it overnight, or you can give them a specific date that you'd like it done. And all your activities that you currently have, nothing is lost, everything is switched over. And the next morning when you go in, you're in the new module. The only thing that you would need to do if you're an Outlook plugin user, you would need to install the plugin that is appropriate to the enhanced activities. There's a different plugin. So your team members would need to uninstall their current Outlook plugin and install the new one, and then they're good to go. So it's an easy switch, nothing that you have to do, and then you can go in and do some of the customizing after you've made the switch, obviously. So let's go to ClaritySoft and see what in the world we're talking about. So when you log in, your database is going to look exactly the same everywhere, except when you go to the activities module. So in the activities module, you will still have, activities up here. The filters that you're currently used to under here have not been added here yet. They are going to be added in the next couple of weeks, I believe. And then you will have today's activities, completed activities, tomorrow's activities. Those are all going to be added. We can create those using the views and save them, but they will be here shortly. These two I have created as a view. All right, so that's the same. This is the ranking, okay? And this is optional per user, whether you want this at the top of your screen or not, and I will show you how to turn that on and off. Then you have your activities are categorized, as I said, by call, event or task, and event. And you can create a new call, a new task, a new event. And you have tabs here for all of your tasks will go under the task tab. All of your events, whatever you define to be an event, and what you will need to do once you make the switch is go into the customization for the activities and decide what activity types you currently have and which category they should go into. So you can see here, this is the activity or category, and this is the activity type. So you can choose to put them all in one category, so your people only need to use one of the tabs here. It's, again, up to you how you want to set it up. I have a couple of people that have set everything up underneath events because when you add a new activity over here using this My Calendar, that's a new functionality. When you do this and you click, you're getting an event type or category of activity, and then you get a list of all of your events, okay? So if you want all of your activity types to show up in this list, so you can put any activity type on the calendar, then you would just put them all in the event category, and I'll show you how to do this shortly. So that's just something to think about, okay? I believe they're working on making this so you can switch categories, but I don't know when that will be released. So that's there. So you can see some differences here. Color coding, you can create color coding for your activities that are in process. I kind of match the in process. These are ones that are past due. Okay, you can see that these were due well, a few months ago, a few weeks ago, and they're not completed yet. So I made them yellow. You could make them another color. These are ones that are in process. Okay. No, these are ones that are completed, excuse me. These are ones that are completed. And then if I go here to tasks, this red color are ones that are in process. This one is due today at 2:30. And I have specifically set this one up for 2:30. And in about 4 minutes, I should receive a reminder that pops up inside of ClaritySoft to remind me that I have this call to make at 2:30. So that's another new functionality. Previously, or with the current activities, you receive an email reminder. But now when you set up an activity, you can have, it creates a pop-up that pops up in ClaritySoft for you, much like it does in Outlook. And then you also can have an email sent to you. So that's a new option that you have as well. So like I said, in about 3-4 minutes, I should receive a pop-up. So you can see it visually, it's a little bit different. You still have your quick search here. You have your advanced search here where you can create your filters and save them with advanced search. So all of this is the same. It's the visual here is a little bit different. And the fact that you have the different tabs. So this will show you emails that you've sent. They're all under one tab here. And your activities, just like you can now, you can create in any module. And then they show up in the activities module. So what I want to run through first is, well, actually, let me open this activity here because I want to show you some things, and then I'll show you how you do it. You can see here that I have a custom link name. I have a link name and a link object. So this is what I was talking about, where you can link an activity to any of the modules or objects in the database. So the main one here is the opportunity, okay? And then it's telling me the specific name of the opportunity or the specific name of the contact, okay? So if I open an activity, you'll see it's a little bit different visually. You still have, this will be your activity type up here, okay? And you choose that. This is your subject line, which is the same. You have your start date and time. So this is, you would click on the date that you want, and then you set your time. Works very much the same way. This will default to, the due will default to the same date, and I think 30 minutes, just like it does now. So that is the same. Here is a reminder. Currently, your reminder is a checkbox that you click in and you choose it. Here, you slide this little bar. I don't want to turn this off right now because there's my reminder right there. So follow-up call, May 25th at 3 o'clock, okay? So that's my reminder. So I can either snooze it for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or 30 minutes, or I can say complete. So that's a new functionality that came up just in the right time. Wow, I timed that correctly. So that's there. So I'll just mark it complete. Well, let's snooze for 10 minutes and then it'll pop up again. So that's what this reminder is. And when I click here, you can see you set your reminder for what time you want it to pop up. And then down here, you can click on include email. So you can either just have the pop-up or you can also have it send you an email as well. So I should get an email here. And then you click set reminder. So that is nice to have. The assign to is the same. If you want to assign this to somebody else, you can pick someone else. And then if you want to send an email, you use this little slider bar instead of the checkbox that you currently do. So that's how that works, okay? And then you can turn it off again if you want, and I'll go back to Susan Arnold. Or am I? Down here somewhere, okay? And then the link to, now this is the important one. I just got my email to remind me. Hold on, I'll show it to you. So there's my email reminding me of this call. And you can see I get the date, the time, and then the link to. It's linked to the opportunity. It's linked to the contact person, and it's linked to the account. And then the organizer is myself because I created the activity. So you'll get the little pop-up as well as an email. So this link to, like I said, is really nice because you can click here to add, and then you can choose any module that you want to connect to for, again, more searching and reporting purposes in the system. Because like at the beginning when I stated, yes, you can create activities in the opportunities module now, but you can't really search on them unless you put something in the subject line or somewhere that says, you know, the opportunity name or number so you can actually search on it. So this was a real nice addition to be able to do this. So yeah, if I wanted to connect this, I don't think I have another contact. I'll create a new activity and show you how to do it, okay? So I wanted to show you that to link to. We'll come back and talk about these other things, this checklist especially, and then here's your notes. So a lot of this is very similar, but you can see the layout is different, you know, the visual is a little bit different. So show on calendar would turn that on. Private means to keep it private so that it won't synchronize over to your Outlook if you only wanted it to be in ClaritySoft. And then over here, your priority, low, medium, high. So that's your, you know, task activity. And then you can have a different layout with your event and your calls, which gives you, you get actually 3 user interface templates. So that's kind of a quick overview. So now how do we do all this kind of setup stuff? You'll go to settings. So again, you would need to be a admin user in the system to be able to do this. The one place you won't need to be an admin user would be under My Settings. You have activity options. And this is where you can set the default reminder time is 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever you want it to be. And this activity ranking, this is where you turn off that ranking that's at the top of the page. Like if you decide I don't need that, I don't want it taking up screen space, I want to see more of my list of activities, then you would just uncheck this. And then the next time you log out, log in, it would be turned off. I'll leave it on for now. And then you can set a default primary activity task type. Okay, this is currently set to task. And so that each user can decide what they prefer. Do they prefer an event? Do they prefer a call? Whatever for that. So that's there, that's per user. Then down here in the customization section, you go to activities, and now you see some different things here. Right now in activities, you would see activity types, and then you'd see category 1 and category 2, and that's about it. Now you have custom fields. Here are your activity types. Now mine are very messy because I've had different people using this database for testing purposes. So I have a lot of activity types here, and I've disabled quite a few of them because I don't need them or want them. Now the insurance that they've built into the system, if I try to delete this, it pops up and says, no, 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 no. Please transfer this to, a category of whatever task, event, or call, and a particular activity type. So it won't let you delete an activity type without actually transferring what may still be some existing activities in your list, because if you delete this, it's going to wipe out the activities that are set to that. So they've put that insurance policy in for you. If you simply disable it, the activities remain intact, but in the drop-down list of activity types, it won't show up anymore. So that's why this is kind of messy. But you'll see that for each of these, for example, committee meeting, you have a name of your activity type, just like you do now. But the second thing is, well, what category is it in? I call it a category rather than a type. Is it a task? Is it an event? Is it a call? Okay. So if you do make the switch over, you may need to come in here and reorganize or restructure your activity types into the category where you want them to be. And then it'll just restructure them and they'll show up under the different tabs. Or like I said, you could put them all under events. And then if you use that little pop-up calendar, they will all show up there and easily put things on your calendar all the time. So this will be up to you. But you just create a type, assign it to the category or the primary type, and then save it. So you can add as many types as you need, and you can assign them to any of the 3 categories that are available. So that would be one step. Then your second step would be custom fields. This is where people get excited because now in the activity record itself, they can have custom fields. So maybe I want to know how many custom fields were done per territory. So you have these data types. I'm going to make this a drop down, and then floating around over here, I have a pre-typed list. And I can put my territories in, okay? And these may match what I already have in accounts or contacts or elsewhere, okay? The other thing that some people like to have, depending on your business, is, well, how much time did we spend on this activity? Because you want to track your hours. There's never really been an easy way to do that in ClaritySoft. So if each time you're creating an activity and completing it, you could enter the number of hours that you're putting in there. And if you do with decimal digit, you could put in, 4.25 or whatever. So this is probably good. And then you can add any other kinds of things that you would want to add as custom fields in that activity record. So hopefully you're all getting some ideas on how this can help you. Once you've added these, just like with the other modules, you're going to go here to the UI templates. And now you can see you have a call UI template, an event UI template, and a task. So you can open this one, choose your access profile, and then you've got your hours and your territory. Now, you have three things here: visible fields, side menu, and the More button. Visible fields, whatever fields you put here will always be visible when you open the new activity record. So just always be there. If you put it in the side menu, there's a little menu, I didn't show you this yet, on the side that has a button for what's here. And then all you have to do is click on it and it will pop over into the visible fields area and let you enter data. If you click on it again, it will close it over here and return it back over to this side menu. Then also on the side is another button with More, and when you click on it, it will have a drop down of all the fields that are under the More button. So it's kind of a way to have additional fields available, but not cluttering up your main screen, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna move my hours here. Well, maybe I'm not gonna move my hours here. There we go. Why doesn't it wanna go there? Okay, it doesn't like going there. So what about if I put it over here? Okay, goes there. All right. So, and I could pull these over here. If I always want a checklist to show up, then I could pull that over here. If I always want an outcome to show up, I can pull it over here. But I'm going to leave these here so you see what the difference is. All right. And if you look at this, the screen layout, you have field configurations where you can make fields read only. I don't know why you would do that. You can make fields required. Okay. And then you have report permissions for the reports modules, sub-tab columns. So this is exactly the same as your user interface template for your other modules. So once you're done here, you save it. Okay, then I would click the back button and I would go to my activity event UI template, because I may want to put these in there. Now it's possible you might create some custom fields that you only want in events or only want in calls and you wouldn't add them. And you can see here, this one's a little bit different where it has participant, it has the outcome over here instead of under the More button, okay? And so I want to bring over my territory. And in this case, I'm going to bring my hours here too. Okay. And I'll leave these the way they are. Save it. So this is to show you that yes, you can have different layouts according to whether it's an event, a task, or a call. So again, here we see some different fields, and I'm going to bring my hours in here and my territory. Well, maybe I'll stick territory up here. Okay. I might not need, whoops, it doesn't like to go there. I'll put it over here. All right. And then save it. So I've done that customization. And again, like I said, you can add however many custom fields you want or need, and they can be put into the different UI templates. Now let me go back to activities here and color preferences. This is where you can set your color preferences for an open or in-process activity, a completed activity, and a past due activity. So all you have to do is click here, and then you can pick. And if you don't like the colors that are there, you can click on more colors and you can go here. And any code number that you want to type in, it will find. What I did with mine is I was following basically what the activities do now, where an in-process activity is the red, and a completed activity is green. And then I thought, oh, heck, I'll just choose a nice bright yellow for the past due. So you can pick whatever colors you want and apply those once you've selected those. And then the outcome, this allows you to create a list of possible outcomes for an activity. So this is to help your team, not have to type so much perhaps, because you have a list of 5, 6, 7 things that say, well, okay, the outcome of me making this phone call is I left a message. The outcome is that the person needs to speak with the team before we can move forward, or they're, again, according to your business, what are the general outcomes of an activity when you do it that you could put into a list? So all you have to do is click the add button and add another outcome. So let's see, I'll just put budget. Again, you would think, and then the primary type is under the task. Okay, so you assign it to which outcome list it should go with. All right. So you can have different outcomes going to the different activity categories or primary types. Okay. And then you'd get all of that done. And just like everything else, you log out. And when you log back in, I'm going to go to opportunities. And I have some opportunities here. So let's say I want to add an activity to one of my opportunities I'm working on. So I can add it from over here, new task, new event, new call. So just like it works the same way as it does now, or I can open the record and I can come up here where I can email new task, new event, new call, okay? Or I can click on the activity tab and then I can choose when I'm looking here what I see. I'm seeing everything, which is nice. I can also choose to hide the completed activities. Maybe I only want to see the ones that are in process, okay? And then I can come over here and click new and I get call, event, or task. So I can pick what I want to do. So I can't remember what I have where. I'm going to choose event. And when I choose that, I get to then select what are the types that are under that event category. So you control that. So the only ones you're going to see. So maybe I want to set up a meeting. Okay. And the meeting is, discuss maybe it's present proposal or something. That might be better. Okay. Then you're going to set the date and time. So again, you click here, you can go to when you're going to do this meeting on the 28th, and then you choose the time. Maybe it's going to be at 10 o'clock in the morning. And see, this automatically goes to the 28th and 10:30. You know that this meeting is actually going to last, maybe an hour and a half. So put that in. So this is your start time. Just it's the same as the activities you have now. Then you can set yourself a reminder to pop up on the 25th or on the 28th, I'm sorry. and maybe you have to travel there. So you might need to have this, remind you at 8:30 in the morning. Okay. And then you might want to have it send you an email. So you set the reminder. Then this link to, you can say, well, this is connected to the opportunity, but I also want to connect it to the contact. And so I can click here and say contact. Now, this is where this throws people off a little bit, because you need to know the name of the contact you want to connect this to. So you just start typing, and then you'll see the person's name and their company name appear. So I think they, in the interest of speed in the database, they aren't showing you your 10,000 contacts. Okay, you should know who you want to connect with. And then you click OK, and now you've added a contact. Then you can add an account. And then again, you type in, it pulls it up, and you choose it. So you can have as many links to additional modules that you want this activity connected to. Then the participant one, this is where you can add additional participants. They can be another user, maybe another team member is going with you. They can be a contact, it could be a lead, or it can be a custom, okay? Meaning it would be somebody outside of your contact list. So maybe I have a participant of, let's see here, Bill, he's another user. So he's getting added, and it says he's a user. And then maybe I know there's another contact for this account, but I can't remember the name. There it is. Look, you type in E, which is the most common used letter. There it is. All right. And then I could add, someone else. So I can add as many participants as I need. And then I click on this little ellipsis button, and you can save the list. All right. If it's a common list of people you're going to use, or you can choose to send them an invite. And then you can choose which people to send an invitation to. Okay. I don't know that I have a good email address in here for these folks, but I could check them off and then save. And then when I save the record, it will send an email invitation. And like I said, it doesn't mean it's a calendar invite that will go into their calendar. It's just an email they're receiving. Okay. So I'll cancel that right now because I don't remember. Now, territory, notice what happened with territory. It says Midwest. That's because in my opportunity record, I have territory and it's already filled in. So because this is pulling from or attached to the opportunity first, it's pulling in the information, which is kind of cool. So they've made the linkage that if you have a custom field in your records, like accounts, contacts, territory, and you use that same custom field in your activity, then the data will pull from the primary record that it's connected to. And in my case, I have this in all of my modules, so it will pull in from anywhere. So that's kind of nice, but if I needed to change it, it's a drop-down list for me. Here's my hours field. So I don't, the plan is this is going to be 2 hours. So I can type that in. It might end up being 2.5, and I can come back in here, when I put my final notes in and change it to 2.5. Here's that outcome list. I don't have anything connected to an event, so I'm not getting it. So remember, under the outcome, each of the options you put there were connected to an event, to a task, or to a call. and I didn't have anything connected to an event, so I see nothing here, okay? And then the note, this is like your regular notes field, what to prepare ahead of time so you know what you want to do. And then when you're done with the meeting or the presentation, you can put your final notes in. Now, here is what I was talking about in the setup. This is the the buttons on the side here. If I need to add an attachment, I click on it and then it opens this up and I can add an attachment to the activity, which you can do that now as well, okay? And you can pull it from your device or you can bring it in from the camera. The other, oops, what did I do? Did I just lose all that? I closed the wrong thing, guys. Oops. I do that sometimes. All right, well, we are going to create a new event again. Okay. Okay, my fault. I clicked the wrong X. So, whoops. 5:28, we'll just leave it at 3 p.m. and do it from 3 to 4:30. It's easier. All right, and we won't worry about a reminder. And we'll do our linkage again very quickly. And it seems a little tedious to do these links, but I will say that when you start to run reports and you want to find out what activities are connected where, this becomes really, really helpful. Let's just do Bill. And okay, so we're back where we were. 2.0. Okay. All right. So then that your attachment you can add. Now here's the other one I was talking about. If you click on this checklist, right now it's up here, but when I click on it, it asks me, well, do you want to do a brand new checklist or do you want to do one that's already saved? Well, I'm going to create a new one. And it throws that field down here. So what you can do now for your proposal presentation is type a checklist. What do I need to do in order to prepare for this? So you might need to gather, pricing data. Hit enter. You got check number 1. You might need to, prepare a PowerPoint. And you just go down and think of all the things that you need to do. Maybe it's a big proposal and you want to practice with the team so that you all do it smoothly. So you can type as many items as you want in your checklist, which is pretty cool. And then if you want to, you can say, save this list. And then it will be there for the next time you're doing a proposal presentation. So if you say save, and then you can save it, okay? That's pretty nice. I like this checklist to be able to add that. It kind of keeps you on track of what you're doing, and you know where you stand with it. Plus other people that can see the activity would also be able to see the checklist. Now the thing that you can do here, this is going to stay down here unless I come up here. See how this is grayed out? If I click this, it will take it back. It's no longer over here. But when I click on it again, see, there's my proposal presentation list. There it is. So it's a way to turn it on, turn it off. And then the more button is the one that says, okay, Do we need, and see, I can turn off the hours, I can turn off the territory, I can turn off the outcome, or I can turn on the location. So it just allows you to have a little control over your window over here as to what fields you can see, which again is kind of a nice functionality to be able to do. All right, so I've got my activity created, and then I can save it. So this is saved, and this is going to be an activity that is scheduled for the 28th at 3:00 p.m. Okay. This little button here lets you control what fields you see in the columns. We're in the opportunity, so you can see whatever fields you want to see in the column. So if you wanted to see the number of hours that it's scheduled for, you could do that. If you don't care about priority, you can bring it over here. If you want to see the link, there's link object, link name, and this is something people have wanted for a long time, notes. When you're in the record and you are looking at the activities underneath a record, you can pull the notes field over. You can't do it in the module, the activities module, but you can do it under the sub-tab. Again, for performance purposes, okay? But this is nice because now if I had typed any notes in there, I would see my notes. So let me actually go in and do that. So and save it. And while I'm in here, maybe I also want to bring up my checklist and say, okay, I've done this and I've done this. Okay. So now I can see my notes. So this is nice. I also can see it's linked to an opportunity. This is the name of the opportunity. And then the secondary links are the account, a contact, and opportunity. So that lets you see everything. And then I would just keep, working with this until it's completed. So after my presentation on Friday, I would open this up, put in the actual amount of hours we spent, put in all the notes, fill in everything that needs to be done, and then mark it as being completed, which would turn it to the green color and you would know it was done and it would have the completed date. So it's, again, it's different, but I think there's a lot of really nice features and functionality to this. ClaritySoft itself has been using the enhanced activities, I think, since last fall. And, we all like it very much. And those people that have switched to it do like it. So that's your overview there of seeing that. And again, if I do a save and close here, and I go to my activities module, I will see, just like you can now in activities, you can type in either the contact name or the company name in the quick search, and then you can see the tasks that you have. So this one is for today. That's the one I got the reminder on. Here's my event for Friday. This is past due, okay? Now the filter didn't stick here when I went to the other tab, so I'd have to type it again. But this is my presentation that's on Friday, and then these are things that are already completed, okay? So it's nice. I think it's a nice thing to think about. And like I said, the two considerations. Number one, if you make the switch, you lose access to the offline version of ClaritySoft. And you cannot go backwards. You can't say, oh, well, we don't like it. Once you switch, you're done. And you do lose the offline. And you also want to be sure, I don't know where, I think most of you are already pretty much into ClaritySoft, but you want to make sure that if you are in, if you are still kind of in getting started, that any activities that you need to import are already in the database before you decide to make the switch. And then you should be good to go, and all is, all is good, and you can take advantage of the new functionality with the custom fields and the linking of the different modules, which I think is very important, because what I can do now, if I wanted to find all of my activities that are linked to an opportunity, I would go here and say link object contains opportunity. And then I'm only going to see the ones where this is equal to opportunity. And that should also show here. And then you can see, and then you can create reports based on that filter as well. So, you can look for anything. The other thing that is also available, which isn't available currently, is in quotations module. You now have the ability to add activities here and send emails from here that will be tracked, okay? And the sales module. Currently, that does not exist. You can do activities and leads, accounts, contacts, and opportunities, but not quotes and sales. You can do them in projects too, but if you go to the enhanced activities, then you can do them really in all of the money modules, which is an advantage as well, because maybe you've got a quote out there and you send an email and it's now connected to the quote, because you're trying to find out, what people want to do about it. So it makes it a little easier to follow up on status of things. So that's the activities, enhanced activities module. If I go back to my PowerPoint here, first of all, thanks for attending today, and as usual. And then if you need any help with this, or like I said, if you decide you want to move forward with it with your team, then you want to call the support team. I've given them a heads up that I'm doing a webinar today. So if they get a bunch of people asking for this, they're expecting it. But you can call them at 888-838-7487, extension 2, or email them at support@claritysoft.com. And like I said, they will create a support ticket, and the flip over will be done usually overnight. So they just ask that none of your team members are working at 1 o'clock in the morning. So that all the databases are closed for everybody, and then the switch is very smooth. And the only thing, like I said, you have to reinstall your Outlook plugin, and then you should be good to go. If you have any ideas for future things to talk about, please let us know at info@claritysoft.com. Give us critiques, ideas, whatever. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here, and go and have a wonderful rest of the day and a great holiday weekend.